Hi, I'm Sean again, and this is Minute Math, and today we're learning about solving two-step inequalities, solve each inequality, and graph its solution. Now, if I was given this inequality.
Minute Math, when you need help you use Minute Math.
N over 3 plus 2 is greater than 0. First thing I want to do is subtract 2 to both sides. Subtract 2 here, subtract 2 here, and we're left now with, well, n over 3 on the left, and that's still greater than 0 minus 2 is a negative 2. Multiply 3 to both sides. 3's cancel on the left, and n is now by itself, and n is greater than a negative 6, negative 2 times 3. So let's graph that. So let's put a negative 6 here, and we have a negative 7, negative 8, negative 9, and negative 10. Negative 5, negative 4, negative 3, negative 2. Well, we put an open circle there at negative 6, because n is not equal to negative 6, means an open circle. N is greater than n negative 6, so the arrow goes to the right, and there we have it. Our graph matches our final answer, n is greater than negative 6. P over 9 minus 1 is less than or equal to negative 2. I want to get P by itself. First step to do that, add 1 to both sides. P is now by itself, or not by itself, it's P over 9, and it's less than or equal to negative 2 plus 1 is a negative 1. Now we multiply 9 to both sides. 9's cancel, and P is now by itself. It's less than or equal to negative 1 times 9 is a negative 9. So now let's graph this. We have negative 9 here, negative 8, negative 7, negative 6, and negative 10, negative 11, negative 12. We have a closed circle at negative 9 because P can equal negative 9, right? It tells us there, but P is also less than negative 9. So the arrow goes to the left. And there we have it. Our graph matches our final answer. P is less than or equal to negative 9. X over 1 plus 5 is greater than 5. Okay? First thing I want to do is subtract a 5 to both sides. The 5's cancel on the left, giving me x over 1 on the left. It's still greater than, and 5 minus 5 is 0. Now we pretty much are done, but we'll just kind of show the last little step here. We don't really need to divide by 1, but opposite of that is multiplication. Multiply 1 to both sides, and x is now completely by itself. Still greater than, and 0 times 1 is 0. So now we have x is greater than 0, but we need to graph it. So let's put a 0 here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. Well, we put an open circle at 0. X is not equal to 0, but it's greater than. Greater than means an arrow goes to the right, and there we have it. Our graph matches our final answer. X is greater than 0. 1 plus m over 9 is greater than or equal to 1. First thing I want to do is multiply 9 to both sides. 9 is going to eliminate it, and I'll have with 1 plus m on the left. On the right, 1 times 9 is 9. So now I subtract 1 to both sides, and m is now completely by itself. It's greater than or equal to 9 minus 1 being 8. And there we have our answer, so let's graph it. Put an 8 here, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 7, 6, 5, 4. M can equal 8, so that means we put a closed circle right here at 8. M is also greater than 8, so the arrow goes to the right, and there we have it. Our graph matches our final answer. M is greater than or equal to 8. Negative 2r minus 2 is less than or equal to 4. First thing I want to do is to add a 2 to both sides. 2's cancel on the left, giving me negative 2r on the left. We're still less than or equal to, and 4 plus 2 is 6. We then divide both sides by negative 2, because remember, opposite of multiplication, division. Negative 2's canceled, giving me r by itself. Now when we divide over an inequality, the inequality flips. Less than or equal to is now greater than or equal to. 6 divided by negative 2 is a negative 3. And so our answer here is r is greater than or equal to negative 3. So let's graph it. Negative 3 here, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, and negative 4, negative 5, negative 6. Well, r can equal negative 3, so that's a closed circle here at negative 3. R is also greater than negative 3, so the arrow goes to the right, and there we have it. Our graph matches our final answer. R is greater than or equal to negative 3. 8x plus 2 is less than or equal to 138. Well, what I want to do here, okay, first thing is I subtract a 2 to both sides. The 2's cancel on the left, giving me 8x by itself. On the right, 138 minus 2 is 136. So now we have 8 times x is less than or equal to 136. Divide 8 to both sides. X is now by itself. X is here, is less than or equal to 136 divided by 8 comes out to be 17. So now let's graph it. Put a 17 here, 18, 19, 20, and 16, 15, 14. Well, x can equal 17. So that's a closed circle right here at 17. Remember, equal to, closed circle. Less than sign, right, means the arrow goes to the left, so the arrow goes here to the left, and there we have it. Our graph matches our final answer. X is less than or equal to 17. 3 plus b over 9 is less than 4. First thing I want to do is subtract a 3 to both sides. 3's cancel, and b over 9 is left on the left. It's still less than, and 4 minus 3 is 1. Now if I multiply 9 to both sides, b is now completely by itself. It's still less than, and 1 times 9 is 9. So now let's graph it. Put a 9 here, 10, 11, 12, and 8, 7, 6. Well, since b is not equal to 9, that means we have an open circle here at 9. b is less than 9, arrow goes to the left, and there we have it. Our graph matches our final answer. b is less than 9. 9 plus n over 2 is greater than 16. First thing I want to do is subtract a 9 to both sides. That gives me an n over 2 by itself on the left, and it's still greater than 16 minus 9 being 7. We then multiply 2 to both sides, 2's cancel, and n is now by itself. It's still greater than 7 times 2 is 14. So let's graph it. 14 here, 15, 16, 17, and 13, 12, 11, and 10. Well, n is not equal to 14, so that means we have an open circle here at 14. n is greater than 14, which makes the arrow go to the right, and there we got it. Our graph matches our final answer. N is greater than 14. Negative 7 v plus 5 is greater than or equal to negative 79. Well, I want to get v by itself. First step in doing that is subtracting a 5 to both sides. This leaves me a negative 7v on the left, and it's greater than or equal to negative 79 minus 5 is a negative 84. So we're being multiplied by negative 7, opposite multiplication, division. Divide both sides by negative 7 here. Negative 7's cancel, and v is by itself. But remember, we divide by negative over the inequality, the sign flips. Greater than or equal to is less than or equal to. Negative 84 divided by negative 7 comes out to be a positive 12. So let's graph it. Let's put a 12 here, 13, 14, 15, and 11, 10, 9. Okay? V can equal 12, which means we have a closed circle right here at 12. V is less than 12, so the arrow goes to the left. And now I have a graph that matches our final answer. V is less than or equal to 12. N plus 3 over 2 is greater than a negative 2. First thing I want to do is multiply both sides by 2. 2's cancel on the left, giving me n plus 3 by itself. It's greater than a negative 2 times 2 is a negative 4. So now we subtract a 3 to both sides, leaving us n completely by itself. It's still greater than a negative 4 minus 3 is a negative 7. So let's graph it. Negative 7 here, and then we have negative 6, negative 5, negative 4, and negative 8, negative 9, negative 10. N is not equal to negative 7, so that means we have an open circle here at negative 7. N is greater than negative 7, so the arrow goes to the right. And there we have it. Our graph matches our final answer. N is greater than negative 7. 4 is greater than a plus 1 over 2. First thing I want to do is multiply 2 to both sides. 2's cancel on the right, giving me a plus 1 by itself on the right. 2 times 4 is 8. Now we subtract 1 to both sides, and we get 7 is greater than a. I like to rewrite this so a is written first. So 7 being greater than a is the same thing as a is less than 7. So let's graph this. Put a 7 here. I've got 8, 9, 10, and 6, 5, 4. Well, a is less than 7, not equal to. So open circle at 7. A is less than 7, so the arrow goes to the left. And there we have it. Our graph matches our final answer of a is less than 7. Negative 2 plus x over 2 is greater than 6. Well, the first thing I want to do is add a 2 to both sides. The 2's cancel here, leaving me x over 2 by itself on the left. Still greater than, and 6 plus 2 is 8. Now if I multiply 2 to both sides, 2's cancel again, and x is now by itself, still greater than, and 8 times 2 is 16. So it's 16 here, and so a is greater than 6, or x is greater than 16 is our answer, so let's graph it. Put a 16 here, 17, 18, 19, and 20, and 15, 14, 13, 12. Well, x is greater than 16, so that's an open circle at 16. Not equal to, right? If it's greater, or just greater than, right? If it's greater than, the arrow goes to the right as well, and there we have it. Our graph matches our final answer. X is greater than 16. 60 is greater than 5 minus 5n. First thing I want to do is subtract a 5 to both sides. The 5's cancel, and 60 minus 5 is 55. We're still greater than a negative 5n. Well, now I'm being multiplied by negative 5, so opposite of that is division. Divide negative 5 to both sides, and n is completely by itself on the right. 55 divided by negative 5 is a negative 11. Remember though, we divide by a negative over the inequality, the sign flips. Greater than now to less than. I like to write n coming first, so n is first here, and in doing so, negative 11 less than n is the same thing as n is greater than negative 11. So let's graph this. Negative 11, negative 10, negative 9, negative 8, negative 12, negative 13, negative 14, and negative 15. Well, since n is not equal to negative 11, that puts an open circle at negative 11. N is greater than negative 11, so the arrow goes to the right, and there we have it. Our graph matches our final answer. N is greater than negative 11. X plus 1 over 2 is greater than or equal to negative 4. First thing I want to do is multiply 2 to both sides. 2's cancel here, and I have x plus 1 on the left. Still greater than or equal to, but negative 4 times 2, negative 8. Now I want to subtract a 1 to both sides, and x is completely by itself. Still greater than or equal to, but negative 8 minus 1, negative 9. So let's graph this. Put a negative 9 here. We have negative 8, negative 7, negative 6, negative 10, negative 11, negative 12. If x can equal negative 9, that means we put a closed circle right there. X is also greater than -9, so we put an arrow to the right, and now we have a graph that matches our final answer. X is greater than or equal to -9. 6 is less than or equal to 5 plus p over 20. First thing I want to do, subtract 5 to both sides. The 5's cancel, and 6 minus 5 is a 1. We're still less than or equal to p over 20. Now, dividing by 20, opposite of division, multiplication. Multiply 20 to both sides, and 20 times 1. 20 is less than or equal to just p. Now 20 is less than or equal to p. It's the same thing as p is greater than or equal to 20. So let's graph this. Put a 20 here. That's a 12. Not a 20, but a 12. Whoops. Put a 20 there. 21, 22, 23, 19, 18, 17. Well, if p can equal 20, that means we have a closed circle right here at 20. P is also greater than 20, so the arrow goes to the right, and there we have it. Our graph matches our final answer. P is greater than or equal to 20. -18 plus k over 3 is less than or equal to -26. Well, I want to get k by itself, so if I add an 18 to both sides here, 18's cancel, and I'm left with k over 3 by itself on the left, and less than or equal to -26 plus 18 is a -8. Well, we're dividing by 3 here, opposite of division, multiplication. Multiply 3 to both sides, 3's cancel, and k is now by itself. It's less than or equal to, and -8 times 3 is a -24. So let's graph this. -24 here, -23, -22, -21, -25, -26, -27, and -28. Well, if k can equal -24, that means we have a closed circle at -24. K is less than -24, so the arrow goes to the left, and there we have it. Our graph matches our final answer. K is less than or equal to -24.
Minute Math. When you need help, you use Minute Math. Minute Math. When you need help, you use Minute Math. MinuteMathTutor.com.